But
I
like,
love the guest, Jeff. We went to Latin Academy together. And prior to going live, we were discussing the foolishness that we did in elementary. And that was one of the things before we went live. So even if they listen to the audio, they're going to hear the audio because it was being recorded.
I'm not ashamed of my journey. Yes, I was in the 8th grade for a few years.
a few meaning 3 or more.
Yeah, 3 years.
Dang.
I was
Okay.
too busy being distracted by them.
He said a few.
That's true.
Listen,
It was
I just
3
wanted to
years.
clarify. I wanted to make sure some people don't get that. And he said he's been in that grade how many times? So I just
I'm
wanted
not.
to
You
make
said
sure
wait.
that
No,
we
you made it
knew
sound like
what
I'm
we
still
was
in 8th
talking
grade.
about.
I'm not in 8th grade now.
I know. I just
Now-
wanted to make sure.
Now I've
have
surpassed
questions.
that. But for a little while, you know what I mean? But that's how
He said I was chilling.
that's how we
You like
learn
the
and
8th
grow.
grade?
We're on a relationship show, right? And that's about the time I started finding when I really found out about girls, and thus that's when that education started. So you're gonna get the benefit of that education today.
Okay. I'm ready for all that. Do we have anybody on our live yet? AV people, Tima and Javi.
Shout out to Diamond Cartel.
Diamond Cartel, my brother. Hi, honey. Thank you for joining.
He_Dan90.
I think that's my Kiki. I know exactly who that. That's one of my baby mamas.
Oh,
One of
jeez.
them.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's one of the
jeez.
moms.
How many do you have?
So I have 7 families. So I have 7 baby mamas.
families,
Oh, yeah, we did
7
clear this
baby
up.
mamas.
My baby mamas, my
You're the only
kids
person
from the
that can say
daycare.
that and get away with
They're
it.
my baby's mamas.
She
That
said
sound
it
like
is.
some
Yep.
Caribbean
I
shit to
know.
me.
I get it.
It's
I
not
get
no
it.
Caribbean shit. It's just one of those corny jokes that we do on the side. It's like,
Yes.
yeah.
No,
Like if you went there, you just missed it type thing. Yeah, it's not funny anymore. Whatever. Y'all look corny.
Let's go to the topic. Let's go to the topic. Let's.
So let's start off with the topics.
Yeah.
But real quick. So earlier today, I was talking with Javi, and I also had the conversation with Jeff, because Jeff had a podcast before.
I did.
He did have a podcast. So I was saying to him, like, what happened to the podcast? Because I definitely have those moments where I'm just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, if you want to know what my podcast, it was called The Poet and the Professor. And what we would have on is people with different life circumstances. So by that, I mean, we had on a guy who believed the earth was flat. We had on a white nationalist, an honest to God white nationalist.
Oh.
We had a woman who had been in a coma. We had a double amputee.
You had
And
a super woke.
yeah,
had a
we did. We
super
had
woke.
we had Javi on,
Super
who was
woke Javi.
like who's being ultra woke that day for some reason. But the point is, we had on these different guests. But after a while, we did 100 episodes, and the topics that interested me started getting a little thin, and life started getting a little crazy. And we're gonna retool, and that was like in December of 19, and then by March 2020.
COVID.
Yeah, something
rampant.
happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what held it off. But we were talking about whether or not one must be pigeonholed to one's topics, right? And so the question is, could pandagasms exist despite that provocative name? Could pandagasms exist?
So
Because I've been ever since I heard the name, I've been really wondering what a pandagasm looks like.
So a pandagasm is an orgasm by panda. However you get that orgasm, you get it.
Yo, rewind.
She said what
We
she
like
said.
come again.
She said what
So-
she said.
You want to do that again?
She said what she
So
said.
pandagasm.
I mean, I didn't say repeat
Pew,
it.
pew,
I
pew,
meant-
pew. Say it
You
again.
gotta
But
Say
wait
it
a minute.
again. Say it again.
rephrase that.
The panda is giving the orgasm, or the panda's
The panda
having
is
an orgasm?
having the
I
orgasm.
am
I
giving
forgot
it
to
to
warn you
you.
about Jeff.
Oh.
But
There's
however
nothing-
you get it is how you get it. Not everybody's going to receive the orgasm, and that's okay, because I'm not for everyone. And there's that.
Okay. Well, the point is, I don't think that your show has to strictly be people receiving and delivering pandagasms. It can be about any number of topics.
Yeah, but they're still going to gasm off.
It
of
is
They're
about
still gonna have
all
some
the
sort of a
different
gasm.
topics, but it's how our perspective that people gasm off of.
Yeah, it's the gasm. So however you get off, you get off.
I'm gonna start
Whether-
saying gasm all the time.
Say
There
it.
you
Go
go.
for
I'm
it.
gonna start going.
There
Go
you
around.
go.
for it.
I'm gonna say it in
I'm
in
not
my
telling
business.
you
I'm
you
gonna say it
can't.
at church.
Go for it. Church people are going to love it.
I haven't been inside a church. in
You'll
a
be
long time.
kicked out, but I
But-
mean, you can
But they'll
try
love
it.
it. They'll talk about you. You'll be part of the sermon.
You'll be very popular.
You get to be famous finally.
Finally.
Oh, you're 15 minutes
And
of fame.
from stealing y'all slang.
Wow.
I guess this is why I need to have.
I mean,
stuff
we'll be able to
trademarked.
sue you, so it's great.
I like it.
Ta-da.
What is these?
Everyone
What's these
wins.
topics? What y'all bring me
So
here for?
today we are going to discuss how you can have a different have one person and you get different reactions from different. Like you can have a good friend, but she's a trash mom, or you can have a good friend that's a guy, but he's a trash husband. Like you get one person, but different parts of them because of the relationship you hold with them.
Hmm.
So the idea being that somebody could, somebody and they're actually a good best friend, and you think, yo, I really love you as a best friend. I
But
struggle to respect your parenting decisions.
Yes,
I look at those and
absolutely.
I say like, oh my God, you letting that kid drink soda and stay up till 3 and they're 2 years old and they got all them silver fillings.
So you're a judger.
Well, I'm saying that's what one might say.
a secret
Yes.
judger, or you actually judge them and you stay their friend, or you cut them off.
Is it possible? So when people say judgment, are you able to? Let's say you think somebody stinks, literally like they're fragrant, right? You can either say, yo, you stink, or you could say nothing. Are you able to not know that they stink if they do? Do you get what I mean? They're in the car with you. They keep on raising their hands for some reason. You're gonna know. So when you say you're a judger, you mean, am I saying, yo, you stink?
No, you're you're talking about reality. It's a fact.
Right. So in the same way, somebody every time they get a new, let's say, every time a woman gets a new boyfriend that she's been dating for 2 weeks,
Don't come
suddenly
at us.
the kid calls him daddy.
That's terrible.
Let's just imagine.
Go at
But you
him.
love them as a part. Like, damn, you're such a good friend.
But
I
like,
could
why
talk
you
to for
keep
hours.
introducing these
But
men to your
right. The
children?
kid
Like,
has
why you
17
moving that
fathers.
fast?
How can you not? If you think that's wrong, how can you not feel that? I don't know. You could say something or not. You could think it's moral to hold your tongue. You could think it's moral to try to check your friend. But I don't see how you could not, like, I have no judgment on that. I don't see how you could.
How you can just turn it off and not, yeah, because if you're a decent person, you are to a degree gonna feel some type of way
Right.
about that aspect of their life. I mean, it sucks that they're good at some points, and some people are not good at multitasking and being able to be decent, at least in every aspect of their life, right? Because it's hard to be really great in every aspect of your life. Because if you're a mom and then you're a daughter and then Jesus Christ, a wife, and then work, and then whatever else you want to do on the side, that's a lot. So to be great in all of that, that's hard. But to be decent in all of it, but that's still hard for some people.
Well, there's all these life domains that you talked about, and then different domains require different things from you. So, like at work, perhaps you need to remain professional at all times. And for some people, maybe that's
The
easy.
mask.
Maybe that's easy for some people because they themselves struggle to share their emotions anyway. But then with your children, if you're being as reserved with your children as you are when you work customer service at work, you're
Terrible.
kind of a cold parent.
Terrible, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that makes you evil, but that's how the same attribute helps you at work,
But
hurts
could
you
be
in
a
parenting.
negative in another source. Yeah, yeah.
Well, they feel. Let's take the last example. I feel so close to you right away, Tony. I feel so close to you, and very nice. So I feel so close that we become fast friends. But also then when I get a mate, 2 weeks into it, I feel so close to them that I say I want you to be my child's step parent. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like,
I just met you though, sir.
right. So in that instance, me and you becoming fast friends is one thing. But me and a new mate suddenly latching on to the kid, and the kid, everything we do is the three of us and pictures of us at Chuck E. Cheese. It's
Like,
too
what
fast.
happened?
It's okay for adults to become fast friends. It's not as okay for someone to become a new step parent that hasn't been thoroughly vetted. So that's again the same attribute,
It just depends.
but it depends on the
I think
circumstance.
it's because
Yeah.
it's more intimate. That's why. So I think people are more cautious on getting intimate relationships quick and like physically intimate in comparison to having an intimate relationship as far as your friend. Because the connection you're trying to grow with your friend is different from the connection you're trying to grow with a partner.
What you were saying is that the level of intimacy in a romance is different than just a friendship, right? I think that a thing about friendship is it doesn't have to be so much of what we'll call. Do you know what a zero-sum game is?
No.
A zero-sum game is
Sounds like a fucked up threesome.
not exact. I hear why
I'm
you
sorry,
say
I had
that.
zero sum.
I hear why.
threesome,
Well,
zero, no, not the same.
I hear why you say that.
Okay.
So when we play, if we all play poker right now, right? The only way for me to win is for y'all to lose.
Right.
Right? If you put all the money I win is money you lost.
Yeah.
That's a zero-sum game. So for me to get anything, you have to lose something, right?
Okay.
And sometimes relationships can feel like that. They can be adversarial in the sense of, that's why we always have these questions. Should the man be paying all the bills? And should the woman,
That goes
if
right
the woman
into the
does
other
this, should the
topic.
man do that? It's like a tug of war. Who owes what? Friendship is often like, hey, we both want to go to this place. We're gonna pay for ourselves. We're gonna go Dutch, but I just want a companion on that road.
Yeah.
So it's less adversarial versus like if the woman gives it up too quick, does the man lose respect? And if the man has to wait, is he a simp? Do you see what I'm saying? Which is like a tug of war.
I hate all those questions.
They're rough, but
actually
they're
love
being
them.
played whether we like them or not.
I hate them because they're so redundant. And this is one of the things I was saying to them. Like, I'm tired of talking about sex and relationships. I want to talk about how we breathing and walking around every day and talk different languages. That's the shit I want to talk about. But when I say
You're
stuff like
interested
that,
in-
people look at me like I'm crazy because it's redundant. It's redundant. Honestly and truthfully, if you haven't figured out by now, when you're about to be 40, how to manage a relationship, stop.
If you haven't
Just
figured
stop.
out how
Just
people
stop.
are walking around breathing
But-
and
but-
speaking different languages,
I think that's more entertaining
At
than worrying
40.
about your relationship. If you're in doubt, leave. Yo, it's so easy to figure out
People don't
relationships.
think it's
Well-
that
If it ain't
easy.
working, you leave. I don't want to hear, oh, but it's hard. Everything in life is hard. That's why it's called life. The word if is in life because if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be life. So like nothing, I don't get it. I'm tired of talking about sex. Flip me over, turn me upside down, get into yoga, do a workout. The sex will be better. Your stamina will be longer. Why we always got to talk about the same shit? It's the same thing. Your
Let's
kids
talk
drive you
about
crazy.
sex, baby.
Can we talk about
Let's
the moon
talk
and
about
how we
you
got different
and
phases
me.
and
Let's
time
talk
is
about
a figment of the imagination? Can
and
we talk about shit like that?
make me. Let's talk
goddamn.
about.
So
All right, that was my rant. I'm
so
over
that
it.
just
I'm
after
done.
that rant,
So to
does that
sum it
mean
up, when in doubt, get
Don't
out.
Talk about
When
sex.
in doubt, don't.
When in doubt, talk
get
about
out.
sex.
Get out.
When in
When in
doubt,
doubt,
talk
get
about
out.
sex.
I
So,
like that. But
do
that's
y'all-
what I heard.
are y'all? I mean, I don't know you. I don't know your lives at all.
Mm.
So that means y'all are in happy. The exact type of relationship you want. It's going just how you want. And
Yes.
you only have the sex that you want.
Yes, with myself.
That's the only kind of sex you want.
Yes. No. However, that is the only one I'm entertaining
And
in the
she was
moment
talking, not
because
me, so
people
don't say
annoy
y'all.
me. There was a video that I posted on the Pandagasms page where two men were discussing pretty much what the wife does in the house and what the husband does in the house. And the husband was like, well, the
I'm
man
gonna
being
see if I can
interviewed,
find it.
he said, we do whatever needs to get done. If my wife gets home and she gets to do what needs to get done, if she's too tired, I pick up where she left off. And so the guy was like,
That man was not happy
flabbergasted.
with that
He was
answer.
perplexed. He's like, wait,
It's like,
what?
oh, what are the rules?
He kept trying to push the question of, well, what are her roles in the marriage and what are yours? And he's like, we don't have any roles. So I agree with that. When I am entertaining a relationship,
Where
there's
did
no
you
roles.
send it?
Like, we do what needs to get done when it needs to get done. Just do it. I'm huge on time management, so yeah,
You're huge on it, meaning that's important to you,
it's
or
extremely important to me.
right.
I cannot.
One of the
I
most
don't-
effective time management arrangements, though, is when people know their roles. Right.
Right.
Oh,
But exactly
It's
what
a
role, though?
very, very,
That's the-
very. But you know what?
can-
It
that
doesn't
can make
mean
it a
that they
slippery
have to be
slope.
locked in, and that's it. It means if you wake up and say, "So this is your job for today, and this is my job
Right,
for
the
today."
communication.
That's
is
it.
what
It's not
makes it
about a
happen.
role,
Because
it's
if
the
you're a parent,
communication.
there's no such thing as, well, I'm the mom, so I have to do this, and you're the dad, so you have to do that. Let's talk about this so we can see who is going to be able to get to do this task because we're both parents. So I feel like whoever is stronger in that particular area should do it.
Yeah.
Well,
Because it's your stronger suit. You're
Right.
better
Like
at
if
this.
somebody prefers dishes, but the
Yeah.
other prefers laundry,
Like,
then
I love
why
to
should
iron.
like
I love ironing.
you know?
Some people hate it. I love to put a good crease in the pants. Like, I love to
who still
iron.
gets creases in their pants?
It's a thing
That's the
for
last
me.
time she lived with a dude. He still,
No,
that's how long
I
ago it
still
was he's
press
creasing
my
his pants.
boys' clothes. Like when they have to go to school and they have to wear a uniform, I put that crease in it. I have a thing for creases. I love to see pressed clothes. Like you see your shirt, I would definitely have your crease crisp.
She's
like
an
I have a
80s
thing
baby
for
for
creases.
sure. Okay.
So there's some people that don't like to press their clothes, and that's fine. But if the person I'm with, his clothes gonna be pressed, not because he expects it
Nah,
of
I'm
me,
steaming
because
mine.
I like to
You
do
ain't
it.
pressing my
So
clothes.
let's decouple a couple of things, okay? So let's disentangle this idea. So it's not that you don't like roles, it's that you don't like prescribed gender roles, meaning if you're a woman, this is for you. Because you like ironing, but I'm just gonna make something up. Let's say you don't like mopping, let's just say. But that's domestic. So in some people's mind, that's a woman's role.
Right.
And then maybe you like changing a car's oil because you just like it. You just go, man, I've always loved to change a car's oil. And to you, as long as you get to pick the role, you're fine with it. It's not that there should be no roles. It's that it should be competence and enjoyment based, not gender based. Is that the idea?
No.
I don't even think
yes
it should
and no.
even be called a role. It's
Right,
just it's communication on what
it's
task
chores
needs
in
to
the
be
house that
completed.
needs to get done.
But you're calling ironing, right? It's not 50-50 on the ironing. Ironing is a Panda
So
thing.
I also don't think relationships are 50-50. I think they're 100-100.
Yeah.
I think both people need to always give 100 or else it won't work.
But are you both going to be ironing the shirt at the same time?
No, because you don't care to do that. That's not your thing.
Right. So the
it's
point
not-
is, ironing kind of becomes your thing in the house, right?
it is my thing because I like it. Most people don't.
Right. So you do like roles. You just don't want it to be because you have a vagina, you have to do everything that's on the vagina list.
Toya
There's
wants to
a
say something so
vagina
bad
list?
she
So
said
I
it.
think
Hold on, we have a question from Tima.
I think the in between of which I think what y'all both are trying to say is like I understand what you're trying to say. Like, yeah, you like iron, so you assume that role.
Yeah.
But then also I think there's what you're also trying to say, like, no, I don't want it always to be my role. Because there's gonna be days that
I don't want to do it, but
And
I want
like-
someone else to pick it up.
So, like, I don't
Yeah.
think it should be like a sign role. Like this is your job and you're gonna stick to it. I should never have to do it because that's your job. I should never have to do it. Like I think it's more so like it's something that has to be done. So like it's gonna get done either way.
Right.
Whoever does it doesn't really matter. As long as
Right.
it gets done.
It's all about the communication.
Right.
So
Forget the word role. What needs to be done?
So maybe an arrangement where it's kind of understood that if there's ironing that needs to be done, of all the tasks, you go, well, I bet you Amanda's going to want to do this ironing. So it'll be
Let me
her.
do something
But on a
else.
day when you said, man, my carpal tunnel's really acting up, right?
Facts.
I was given too much gasms last night.
You
and
know,
my hands are cramping up.
I was under there.
In that, I was under there. Oh God! In that instance, it's kind of understood. Okay, you need a break from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a lot of times functional relationships. That's what they do. So oftentimes there's either a primary parent, even when people live together, or they have primary things. For example, I don't have this arrangement anymore, but once upon a time, I lived with my children's mother. She's a morning person. I'm a night person. So like, who fed the baby at 5 a.m. is leaning towards her. She's about to get up anyway.
Right.
Who fed the baby at 2 a.m. is me. I'm still up. So, but it wasn't like we didn't write that down anywhere, but just kind of understood like that's kind of what we're doing here. But then if on a, she had the flu or something like that, it's just understand it falls more to me,
Right.
right? That's a good functioning thing. And it would be nice if people could be explicit about it. That video you posted, that dude, what blew that dude's mind is basically he cannot decouple the idea that a team needs roles from the idea that, and those roles should be decided by, I guess, the Bible or society
Yeah.
500 years
Yeah.
ago, whatever
Yeah.
he thought it should be,
Yeah.
where he goes out and works and she stays home and sews his socks,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, yeah, and then
That
the, guy,
if he's out,
the
then
dude
she
says
needs to
she's
be-
tired. The women are tired.
She
They're
works.
working.
Yes.
Right. What in our society, we've first of all, in terms of either parent or either member of the couple staying home is a luxury that very few people have.
Yeah, that is a
Can
luxury.
afford.
Yeah, it
Very
has to
few
be.
Okay.
people can
Can
do that.
afford.
But on top
okay?
of that, a lot of, it used to be women that stayed home, but a lot of women wouldn't even wish to do that.
Right.
So what we've done that's a good thing, women have been liberated from the specific expectation that they have to go so closely to this gender role, right?
Mhm.
It used to be where pants were man's clothes.
Yep.
Now there's many women that won't wear a skirt or a dress
My
almost.
mother still will not wear pants because she's that religious.
She's that's my mom too.
But you
She
should,
still won't wear pants.
and so my argument, and then some people go too far, I would say, in my opinion, and they say like abolish gender roles. Where they,
Yes,
Where they say
yes.
like from now on.
Where it's no longer she or he.
Right.
It's just they or
Let's abolish
them.
gender.
Just none of that.
Where to me, my brand, the brand of feminism that I would most endorse is that people, but in this case we're talking about women, have the option to select what they want to do. So you might say, I like ironing, traditional domestic women stuff, but I don't wear dresses every day. My mother does, but I don't. And I'm a woman, and that doesn't make me less of a woman to do that.
So First of all, I'm very non-traditional. Very non-traditional.
You don't say.
So non-traditional, it's not even funny. I said it to my daughter the other day. I'm like, do you want me to be a traditional mom? Like, I, in my opinion, find them to be boring.
Was that a conscious choice?
For me, yes, it was a conscious choice for me to be non-traditional mom because I grew up with a very traditional mom and it was boring.
She said what
So
she said.
I didn't want my children to grow up that way.
Do you think that's the case for most women?
I take it
Do I
between
think
what you're
that's
saying
a
and the
case?
name of the show. Your mother doesn't watch the show.
She doesn't watch the show. One time she did ask me to send her a link. And do you remember, I don't know if anyone ever watched the interview, like the documentary with Biggie, where he told his mom, don't ever listen to my music.
Is that
Did
what
you ever
told
see
your
that
mom?
documentary? I didn't say it so forcefully like he did. You know, rest in peace, Biggie, I love you. But I was just like, I don't think I ever want to send you one of my shows. And since you're not a fan of YouTube, just don't.
So she's just somewhere praying right now, like, oh,
Praying to all her
Father
God.
God,
Yep.
Father
Please
God,
bless
my daughter.
and
She
this
has
show.
a Christian podcast. She has a
She's
Christian
hoping.
podcast.
She's
You know what I
hoping
want to
that
do
it's a
on one
Christian
episode? I
podcast.
want to do like a live dating where people can call in and we get them dates. That's another topic for another day. What I did want to say while we were on the topic of gender roles, one day I was scrolling on Twitter and they were discussing how when you're going to your boyfriend's house for the first time and his mother expects for you to help him help her out, like in the house and in the kitchen.
No.
Have you guys ever came across that?
No.
Where
I guess I got a resting face that says no because no.
because look at you. Let's talk about it.
Well, no, you were saying you dropped the B word, but you said you got a resting face, and I looked and I said,
I must
I can
have
see-
it because
I can see that.
the answer is no. Like, what do you mean I'm helping out in the kitchen? Now, I may cook for my man. I'm pretty sure at this point I've already cooked for my man. But I'm not helping out in the kitchen the first time I come to your mom's house or wherever's house.
Why not?
Because I've learned from exes that moms be fake as fuck.
Yeah,
You could be the fourth or fifth girl he done brought over. I ain't cooking shit. I ain't helping in the kitchen. I'm sitting my ass right here. The fuck you mean?
So for some cultures, like
You ain't helping
if
shit.
you don't help out on the first time, you're not good enough
Oh,
for their son.
wow.
And I so don't agree with that. I
This
agree with
is
you.
new age.
I agree with you. I'm completely with you on that. Like the first time it was said to me,
I'm a guest.
I was like, what the?
Make me
what?
something.
I'm a
was looking
motherfucking guest.
like, I
I
gotta
should be
do
getting
what?
appetizers and drinks. No,
was
I'm playing.
like,
I ain't one of those
I
girls.
have to
But no,
do
but for real,
what?
I'm not going in the kitchen and helping shit.
In my head, I'm like,
The fuck?
is
What
the
you want me to bring the
expectation.
lime and the vinegar too? The fuck?
they do actually.
To soak the fucking meat in?
So-
like, no.
But then the first time
Shouldn't
you make
this
something,
be
the
done
first time you mess
already?
up in the kitchen.
Thank you. It's gonna be because your
Just
girlfriend
bring
was
some
in here.
ice
She
cream.
can't cook.
Bring
Da
some
da
ice
da
cream.
da. Like, I don't need
Bring-
that
bring-
type of parent in
bring
my
drinks.
life. I just don't.
I mean, I don't have this expectation, but I can imagine that many family or
Men who
Many
are
family- it's not
mama's
men.
boys.
It's culture.
in this
It's a
case, I'm
cultural
saying I
thing.
think it's the
Oh,
culture.
yeah, some cultures.
It was
yeah.
the culture, and this
So, to
person,
what
that was
degree
their
do you-
culture.
Oh,
right.
no.
To what degree do you adhere to somebody else's culture? Let's just imagine, for example, instead they were Jewish, and so when you come over, they're not eating pork and shellfish, and you're like, well, then I'm just gonna bring lobster and
You
ham
would
I
not
myself.
do
before I
that.
go over.
Yes.
But you get the
But you
point
would
of what
not
I'm
do
saying.
that, yes.
When you
I
get
do.
in someone's house,
So-
or when people some people believe take your shoes off in the
off,
house.
yep.
So you go, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't show my feet. So then you just keep your shoes on.
Mm-mm.
So
Take them off.
because
But I
do
ain't going in the
respect
kitchen.
people's homes and the rules and all that. I did do it because I'm like, this is y'all's culture. I'm not gonna come in your house, in your space, and disrespect.
I'll stand around and
your
conversate.
whatever. And I'm
You're
not
just gonna
gonna
watch the mother.
disrespect
She's
you
just
guys'
working
Yes,
culture.
I'll
her
clean.
strong-
You know, while you finish
her
that up,
strong
pass
West
me the
Indian
dish.
arms are just
Pass
rolling
me
that,
the dish. I'll
that
clean a
roti,
plate or something, but I'm
making
not
that-
cooking nothing.
and you're just watching.
I came to be
I
here
didn't
to
cook.
enjoy.
You're
So
just
what they
filing your
expect
nails.
is for, like, after everything is done, for you to help clean up and XYZ. So because I knew that was the expectation, I never went back to another family member's house after that. Because if I know that that's the expectation, like you said, I'm a guest. This
And
is
then the
what-
person
so
who brought me, why didn't you prepare me for that?
they did.
Listen,
That's what I'm
you
saying.
know,
They
They
did.
did.
Oh, see,
Listen, that is the moment that the mother can do like a little car crash. Not a car crash.
That's
but
exactly
they
what
bring
the
their
woman
little
is
judgment
doing.
on you.
They're
Mhm.
judging you to
Good
see
at
if you're
it,
good
bad
enough for
at
their
it.
son
They
or the
talking to
person.
you, they getting
Yeah.
a feel for you. Like,
That's
what that
exactly
is.
what it is, to see if you're going to be able to take care of them.
We could talk over dinner.
Yeah, no.
when dinner's finished and we're all sitting, we can talk.
So
then.
again,
Yeah, but that's when they
You go to a
disrespect
different
anyone's
country,
culture.
and in that country, they don't just wrap their hair; they also cover their face. You gonna cover your face,
Yeah, I guess if that's what we're supposed to be doing.
right? And what it is I think what you're weighing to some. You tell me if this is right. Is the degree in which it's an imposition. So covering your
Right.
hair, you say, hey, I wear hats sometimes anyway, so that's okay. Covering my face, before COVID, I
No,
never did
because
that.
in those
So
cultures,
I'm not
they'll
super into
freaking
it.
kill you or do some shit to you.
Let's say
so...
you're physically safe, but just like, do you wish to do it? In this case, you feel like I'm going to come here and do labor. That's an actual imposition, and I
Like,
decline.
why would I
If
do
I'm
that?
physically safe, I'm not gonna do it. Like, cause I'm one of the type of person that's like, I'm not gonna do something just to do it for the way. You know what I'm saying? So if I go to another country and like that's their culture to cover up their face because whatever it may be, like if you're seen out without being covered up, you could be
It's disrespectful.
hanged or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. Like I'm gonna do it to protect my life. But
Right.
I don't have to do it because I clearly look American and they clearly know like I don't understand their culture. Like I'm a tourist. I may be like more prone to get robbed. or
Team
something,
always
but they're
want
not gonna
force
kill
it.
me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna do it just to do it.
Now,
'Cause
let
I
me-
don't understand
Tima
the
said,
purpose
I'd
of
rather
doing
get
it.
robbed.
Right.
Fuck it.
So
So
Team
I
is
don't
saying,
understand the purpose of doing
okay.
it.
right?
Go ahead, Jack.
Team is saying that she's not doing it just to ride the wave. Meaning, like, I decline to be influenced or moved off of the way that I generally do things just because that's the culture of the place I'm at.
She is not conforming. Damn
Right.
it.
Now let's reverse this, right? A friend of mine just talked about this. A married couple hired an au pair, right? Like a live-in nanny.
Yeah, I learned about
Okay.
those one time.
To come and, work with the kid. They need the au pair and, it's affordable and all that stuff. The au pair was somewhat of an attractive woman and somewhat of a busty woman. But for whatever reason, partially culturally, she
What do you
didn't.
mean?
What I mean, busty? She had, like yourself.
Okay.
Like yourself. And so
Okay.
she, I guess,
done
didn't
with
wear a
you.
bra. I don't know if she never wore a bra, but she didn't wear a bra around the house.
Oh.
Oh.
She's
Okay.
So
disrespectful.
she had big titties and her nipples is just
She's
like,
disrespectful.
So, wait a minute. It's bra right now. But it's like, we don't wear
Now.
bras where I'm from.
You need one?
Right? We don't, but, and I know women generally don't love bras. You love getting
I would
home
put
and
some
taking
tape
them
on her
off.
titties. But then again, I like looking at people. So
You recognize the point is that when it's your house, there is an expectation that people will conform to your culture. There is.
yes, I agree. I absolutely agree.
I'm just
Then
not cooking and cleaning. So what was the next topic?
The next topic was I didn't.
I'm
post
here to
this.
crack the jokes. Like, I'll entertain you the whole time, but don't ask me to do none of that extra shit. It's just like, why?
Feel free to take off your bra too. Listen,
Jesus
we're all
Christ.
Just take it off now. Let's start now. Just take
we're
the
all
bra off. Just take the bra
Set
off
the
now.
time and see how fast you can do it.
Come on, ready?
Set-
Mark,
set the-
set, get set, go.
All right, next topic.
So I didn't post this video, but it was one that was going around. I honestly think it was just for social media, but it's the video where the guy is paying like $500 a month for child support.
Oh, these
and
fake
his
videos.
wife is like having a hissy fit in the back, like, fuck, forget that kid, and
Because the kid needs some
because
shoes.
the child needed a pair of shoes, but she didn't feel that the father which is
Should
her
have to
husband,
spend
should
more
have to
money
spend more
outside of the
money
$500.
outside
These fake
of the
ass
child
stories.
support.
Wait, I'm not sure I'm clear on this. So there's a baby father somewhere and he pays $500
Yep.
to
He's
this
married.
mother.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So is it
You're married to Amanda.
okay, thanks.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm the baby mama.
Sure.
Mhm.
Okay. You pay me $500 every month
Yep.
for this kid.
Yeah.
But then I turn around and go, listen, school's time's coming. He
I
needs
see.
2 pair of sneakers. I need you.
And I'm
Even if
like,
it's summertime,
hell to the
summertime's
nah.
coming.
Yep.
You
I
ain't
need 2
doing
pair
it.
of sneakers for your kid.
I see. And
Outside
my
of that
wife, who's not the
500.
parent, is
Yes.
saying no.
You already paid that $500. So what are you even talking to her
Got
for?
it. Got it.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
That situation is actually pretty terrible. The one thing I'll say is, if we assume that the child was made before I met my now wife, Amanda,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
then the package deal is you understand that I have a child, and frankly, children can be an imposition. They're expensive, and they don't listen, and they do all the stuff they do. And so sometimes you're gonna want to go to the casino, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, we were gonna go, but casino money has to go to
My son.
my son, my
Yeah.
child."
Mhm.
And in that instance,
You better not tell her that. She
Well,
gonna
that
go off.
wife didn't take it too lightly.
right? So I'm saying that you would be more calm.
She's
about it.
we're understanding, but
Yeah.
that wife went off, and I think it was fake. But either way,
So I
either
guess
way,
What matters when was the kid made?
Before they got
the marriage.
married.
So the child is older.
The child
was
is
born
just
before they
there.
got married.
The
I think
child's
he was like
5.
10.
Right.
10.
Five. See,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever the age
I think
is.
the point that he was making, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Mhm.
If you met me moving like this, why should
Already
you
being the parent
Right.
doing
why should I
this.
change it? Why should I do less?
Right.
Because now that I have
Right.
this?
This is what I
And
do.
This is what my problem was when I watched the video. It was like, oh, is she really being this nasty right now? This man has to get his kid a pair of shoes.
He wants to do right by his
Right,
kid, and
like,
she's really like
I feel like there's a lot of men out there that are good dads or decent dads, and they have really
terrible women,
terrible women
whether it be
in
the
their
wife or
lives.
the baby mother.
Right. And then it's also on the flip side. There's decent women that are decent moms, and they have horrible, trashy men that are the father of their children.
The truth is, when it comes to co-parenting, the person with the advantage is whoever cares about the kid less. Okay, so because that's the one who can more easily use the kid as a pawn, right? And so, if a loving father co-parents with a mother who's a piece of trash, then she can just drag him around, and there's nothing he can do because the child is a human shield. And conversely, if a loving mother has a baby father who is uninvolved, or maybe he'll say, "I'll be right. I'm gonna come see you today, son. We're gonna go play baseball." Then he disappears for 6 months. We all seen Will Smith cry when Ben Vereen went off and drove trucks and left him with Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
Right? But that's happening every day. It's all happening every day.
It is.
And so the challenge is that I've actually had a few friends who I've watched this happen, where a woman finds out how rough women can sometimes be when they're with a man with a baby mother. Then they go, "Oh my God, this is so unfair." Right. But you already paid child support, and then she's whatever, getting her nails done or whatever it is, and then Junior still, she sends him over. Junior has one pair of underwear for the week.
Right.
And then you go, right, this system's unfair.
So I didn't even think of it as the parent who cares about the child less.
Is the
Using
one,
them.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
That
is
was
the
my
one
aha
winning
moment just now. It was like, oh shoot.
because they're
Light
the one
bulb.
using them as a pawn.
Yes, like a
They're
cash
literally
cow.
there just for the advantage part of it.
It
That's
is.
what they're focused on.
Right? It's whoever, because court can only legislate some very narrow things. Court can't make you be a good parent. They can either approve parenting time or remove it. And they can approve
financials.
decision making or remove it. And they can approve and they can decide who pays what, how much. And inside there's so much stuff where if you're parenting with someone who says, well, do this and do that, or else you can't see your kid. Do this or do that, or I'm gonna fight for more child support, or if you don't give me more child support, then I'm gonna say you did this or did that. Right. And the only thing that stops people from doing that is go, oh, I don't want to put Junior through this. Oh, I don't want Junior to see his parents fight. But if you don't care about that, you really can do whatever you want. It's
it
not
can be
that
all
different.
out war, and it's terrible for that child.
Right.
Terrible for that
It's
child.
not that different. We just watched for the last, from 2016 to 2020. There were so many rules that Donald Trump broke, but they weren't rules, right? It was just every president releases their taxes. He goes, I won't. And they still ain't out today. You see what I'm saying? So in the same way, a parent wouldn't stop because it's not, let's say it's the kid's birthday, but it's your parenting time. So then you say, well, then you can't see Junior until it's your parenting time the next week. But a parent
for the birthday,
right? A parent would let both kids see him on the birthday.
Yes.
Would they? What if I don't?
They should.
What if I don't? What are you gonna do?
Punch you.
And then what will happen? And then you know what will happen then?
Like right in your face.
And then your custody will be.
I'm gonna make sure no one
gone.
sees it though. You have no proof.
How
are you gonna say it was me?
You got a lot of rage in you.
They're gonna know.
I'm just saying I'm
That's
little.
why she's Big Cap.
You got a lot of rage. You got a lot of rage in you. And I
no one's gonna know. No one's gonna. Who's gonna know?
I
How are
find
they
it-
gonna know? I'm mad little.
I
I'm just
find it
gonna
intoxicating.
and just be out of there. Like
She has a little bit
have
of
to say
toxicity in
this,
her.
okay?
just
No,
be
our AD
out of
guy
there.
Harry
Like,
is
what do you
talking.
mean?
He
Yeah.
says,
I have to admit, she is kind of like little sis.
she
So,
is little sis.
I might have to beat you up depending on what you say. But I love you too, just so you know. It's all love.
This is the first time he's ever defended me.
Ever defended her.
But I know
because
Jeff.
he's always on his
Jeff
her
is like
tail.
a dude.
I feel like it's because you're light
Thank you.
skinned. I feel like it's because you're
I
light
get that a
skinned.
lot. I get that a lot.
Yeah,
What?
and so he
Like,
feels like he
light
can
skin?
take you or something. I don't know.
That
No, I never fight light-skinned dudes from the hood.
the light skinned hate that I've received for many years.
We got a shout out.
They got
in the
shit to
comments.
prove.
Hold on.
Dirty Bingo Boston.
Dirty Bingo Boston gave you a shout out.
What
Thank
up?
you for watching Dirty Bingo Boston. Dirty
Thank
Bingo
you.
sounds good.
Dirty Bingo.
You. Christ.
Thank you for following
We're
us and
both
watching.
PKs, but this one keeps her mind in the gutter.
No, I just say it out loud. You think about it, I say it. That's why it's called
Thinking
Pandacasm. What happened?
I don't think it.
Who said thank you?
Nope.
Oh.
Back to you, Andy.
Huh?
You're supposed to say back to you, Ollie. Wow.
Who are they?
Y'all don't have y'all bits worked out.
She has to
All
do
right.
better.
I don't know who Ollie
But
is.
she should know who
Who's
my people.
Ollie?
Andy and Ollie
Who
from
are they?
Bob's Burgers.
I don't watch that.
This is not, and this is my best friend.
I don't watch.
This couple's
Listen,
not gonna last.
This is not real
it
love.
is gonna last.
It's
It is
not real love.
because I
I listen to Soka. I listen to it. I
she
dance to
listens
it.
when she's here with me.
So
when I'm
why
with
she
her,
don't watch
she should
it?
put on Bob's Burger. Put on
Sing
the
one
Burger
Soca
people.
song.
We'll watch it.
Sing one Soca
She
song.
sing a song. Sing a Soca song.
Mm.
I know Louise.
It's the one where you drink your water and you mind your business.
Yeah, drink water. and
Okay.
mind
So
your
you guys
business.
have
Okay.
a list
Everybody
of
been
countries
saying
she
that.
can and can't go to Trinidad.
Wow.
The
I'm
stuff
going.
you said about Soca on this show.
Drink water and mind my business. Okay.
The whole entire
Shit.
night. How much time do we have, Javi?
I need to go
We
to
got-
Trinidad.
We
15
have
minutes.
15
One more
minutes.
topic.
So we can possibly take some questions. Do we have anybody in the
These
audience
people
who
are
wants to
whack
talk?
in the audience
Anybody
today. That's
have
what I
anything
feel.
to
I mean, if
say?
you got something to say to
We've
me,
talked
gang,
about
gang,
child support. We
Gang.
talked about
gang.
gender roles. There's so many things we discussed. What else did we talk about?
Can we talk about? But could we talk
Hey,
about
man,
the
I
I mean, you
women?
gotta fill the show with stuff. You gotta-
I
Oh,
mean-
wait, we did the article from Psychology Today where we're saying men are more lonely and single because they are expected to be in healthy
I
relationships
love how
now.
Harvey laughed.
Yo,
So
healthy
women
relationships.
are
Round of
raising
applause to y'all.
their bar as to what we are
Thank
wanting
you
and
for
what we
raising
are
the standard.
agreeing to, and so
And-
there's more lonely men, you know,
So
out
what
here.
I took from that, hold on, pause. What I took from that article was that women are no longer accepting money and pee as
The bare
enough.
minimum.
Because a lot of men, and please listen, I did not say all. I
Mm.
said there are a lot
She
of
said
men
all of y'all,
that
most of
feel
y'all,
as long as they are slanging the
Mm.
dang
slanging the
and they're
danky
paying
leaf.
some sort of a bill or whatever, is
Which
coming
half
out
the
of their
time they ain't even
pocket,
doing that
that they're
consistently.
doing enough. Who
Mm.
gave y'all that idea?
Mm.
That's why that first video we talked
Why
about
do y'all
that one
think that's
first.
enough? I'm gonna ask the man that's sitting
So-
here.
I would hope he's not one of those that think that the dang and the money is enough. I hope that he is a man that
He does
is-
have gray, so I would hope that
I
he's,
hope he
you know,
is-
smart
Christ.
enough.
I hope he
Jesus
is a man
Christ.
Yo, I'm
that
gonna add 5 minutes to the
is
runtime. Go ahead.
self-aware,
Seen him
is
put the light on me,
self-aware
shut
enough
down, it was coming.
to know
I'm
when
just
he's being
saying.
toxic and when he is conducting healthy relationship. From talking to you this little bit after all these years, I do feel like from sitting here talking to you that you do know how to conduct a healthy relationship. However,
You toxic.
it's been
Everybody who come on this show is
years.
toxic
It's been years.
to a degree.
So I don't know what you do.
Look at
or
his
don't
face.
do.
He toxic.
Because we all got a
slightly.
little bit of toxicity.
Look at his
in
face.
us.
Look at
we
his
all
face.
have a little bit of toxicity in us. Let's just be honest.
Well, I'm gonna actually rebut the premise of this. I'm gonna rebut the premise of this article, because if we assume that what most people in America want
Mm.
is a couple, you know, one man and one woman, that's the most common arrangement.
Mm-hmm.
How can there be a surplus of lonely men? Because for every man that's not in a couple, then a woman's not in one, right?
Right, but the women are being happy with their genuine relationship with either themselves. They're doing more things for self-love, and they're having more genuine connections with their friends. So the things that they need are being fulfilled in other ways.
I think there's some of that.
And then the
I
rose
think-
is there.
I think
so we
there's
really
some of that.
don't need
I think
that.
Wow.
That's true.
I'm just saying.
And I'm mad
So-
that came to my head like
No,
toys,
because-
like
no,
the rose.
let's
Like
keep
it
real.
did.
Let's
She
keep
said
real,
it.
okay?
She's right.
Let's keep it
I
real.
think and if she
If
says
you-
it,
if
that's
your partner
terrible.
can't hold a conversation
Terrible.
with you, and you always have to call one of your girls to have a conversation, okay? One, they're not piquing your interest mentally, right? So they're not stimulating you mentally. So now you have to find your friend to do that part. Your partner doesn't like to go out. Not everybody likes to go out, and going out costs money. We get it. However,
that's the ops area.
However,
You know what I'm
or-
saying?
Or you're so paranoid, it's the ops area. However, you still do nothing but keep them inside
said what I said.
the house. whether it's your place or her place. We don't want to be in the house all the time. We don't want to see four walls all the time. That's
I want to go
tired.
out.
I'm tired.
I want to see the lights at the zoo.
Can I look pretty?
You know what I'm saying?
Can I feel like a woman because you're my man and now I want to look good
I want to go bowling.
You know what I mean? Why we got to be in the house all day watching
I want to play mini golf.
You know, so there's that. Hold on, don't cut us off yet.
No, I'm just how much you have a hype man is crazy. A hype woman.
And I'm sure the women that are listening, I'm sure the women that are listening are in agreement with me.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the majority of us feel this way, and this is why a good portion of us that are single are single.
Happily
because we aren't
single.
getting these things from our male partners, which we want to get it from. So we're not trying to dog y'all or trash y'all. We're hoping that these conversations bring light to the behaviors of the men
y'all
that
bring
are out
y'all
there
standards back up
and do these things because this is what we want from y'all. But we're getting it from our homegirls and the Rose. So you're really not.
Some
needed.
of y'all ain't even got passports to even travel with us.
You know what I mean?
You know
and
what I'm saying?
So there's that part. There's no communication. There's no real quality time. Some of us want the bare minimum.
All you trying to do is slang and bang.
Can you hush for 2 seconds? Some of us want you to just dance with us. Okay? Some of us want you to just dance with us. And that is the bare minimum for some people that just want something little. But some of us just want a flower. Don't buy us seeds and tell us we'll plant a garden. Buy us a damn flower because flowers don't take as much work as gardens. You have to actually listen to the woman you're trying to entertain to see what it is she likes. Because if you're going to do what you're doing because you think she's going to like it, it's not going to work, men. You got to listen to the woman you're dating because every woman is different. And vice versa. But the article is talking about the men.
That's right.
Not in healthy relationships, not women.
That's true.
So we're going to stick to the article and we're not going to do it's a people thing. We're not doing that right now. The article was specific. We are sticking to the topic at hand. The article
she said she focusing on y'all men.
Healthy relationships are going less because the men are not being healthy. Y'all need some therapy. Go fix y'all traumas.
I think that there's an aspect of that, but there's another aspect.
Tell me it, please.
So,
she put her phone down. Oh boy!
Hormonal birth control for women was an.
Oh!
You don't know what I'm going to say.
I know. It's just how you
started. You know what I'm going to say.
He's about to make it make sense.
Hormonal birth control for women was popularized in the mid '60s. Okay, so you would assume that the birth rate went down in the United States, in places in the first world, in places where it was popular. But you know that's not true. It barely changed at all. Can you believe that? That the birth rate was like 2.5 kids then, and now it's like 2.25 kids now. Okay? So even though think of how liberating this must have been for women who got to control their own reproduction, but it didn't really go down. But there is something that makes the birth rate go way down. You know what it is? Women having access to education. Women having access to education and being able to control their own lives pushes the birth rate way down. And here's the reason why. Because women only date across and up. All right? Women don't date down. Or they're very... Let me be clear. Stop. I'm already bailing. I'm already bailing.
We might date down, but it don't last.
I'm already
so successfully
on a population, right? Exactly.
At a successful rate.
Wait, define down.
I'm going to define
them, whether it be financially, because he doesn't have.
Let him explain.
Right. On a population level, okay. On a population level, just like I could say, like men are taller than women, but every man is not taller than every woman. But you would expect in a room of 1,000 of each, the men will be the taller half, right?
Right.
Yes.
In the same way, women don't date down. You remember that movie? I think it was called Disappearing Acts. It was Sanaa Lathan and Wesley Snipes. The whole thing about the movie is that he's a construction worker and she's an executive or something. A situation which, when reversed, is not uncommon at all, right? The woman is a secretary or a CNA, and the guy is something that makes
CFO.
more money and more educated, whatever it is. That's not rare in the other direction. Women don't date down. So the higher women get, the more men are down here saying, love me, beat it, scrub. And for that reason...
They still got to fuck somebody, though.
And so you bring up the last part. And so what happens is, and we've seen this.
He said that.
We've seen this more with dating apps as well, which is that women can engage in, it's called assortative mating, okay? Which is to say that people can find people that are on their level. And so in the dating apps, 10% of the men get all the swipes and likes, right? Because they are some combination of successful, charming, handsome, tall, maybe they have money, whatever it is that the women are optimizing for. Very few men have it. The rest of the men are on there liking, swiping right on every single woman and getting nothing, virtually nothing. So basically, the women are in our society now are sharing the successful men more than they used to, because it used to be that there were more men above more women, and now there's
Yes.
a lot more women above a lot of men. And so I
Mhm.
would say that that's it. And there's nothing, although it's very good in a relationship to be able to talk about your feelings and stuff like that. An example I usually use is, do you imagine that Saddam Hussein got a lot of women in his life? You think he slept with a lot of women in his life? Fidel Castro famously slept with a lot of women, right? You name some dictator. He's not nice, right? He's not necessarily handsome. He's got high status. He's a beast. He gets women. And so that hasn't changed. In other words, being a sweet man isn't necessary. It's good. It's important to be a good person. That's not what gets women's attention, though. Being some version of across or above is what does. And since more women are above more men than it used to be, more men are left out in the cold. This is my hypothesis that I did not make up.
I was waiting for you to get to the point. That's why I raised my hand, and I'm glad that you did. I appreciate it because my ADD was kicking in.
Sorry.
And you was about to lose me, baby.
I was there with you the whole time.
Yeah, but my attention span is way shorter than hers. That's why I work with kids.
Nice guys finish.
It's
To
not
sum it all
about.
up,
It's not
It's
that being
not
nice
all
is bad.
nice
We got
guys,
five
It's
no.
that
minutes.
being successful is that being
Is that
at least
more
as successful
women
as the women
have
is what
raised the
matters.
bars
There
for
goes.
I was
themselves.
gonna ask that,
So-
'cause
so
it's
that-
not a 1-to-1 ratio anymore.
Mm-mm.
There's
also
more women in
think-
college right now than men, and particularly among Black people. Of course, you know that more women are more highly educated than the men, right?
Right.
And so those women are going to be master's degree women dating
So
high school
if-
dropout men.
So if a lot of men
Yeah,
are
some of
aware
us.
of this statistic, why aren't the men doing more to keep up with their women?
I think almost none are aware of the statistic, but
How?
You're aware of it.
It's,
well,
it's a thing.
I am who I am.
It's very visible.
I think that, and also it's challenging. A lot of dudes
So-
aren't built for it.
So I was about to say, do you think they're not being honest with themselves? Like, yo, I need to do better?
I think that our society also, it used to be that you could be like, think about the job, a grocer, right? Like a grocery store used to have an
Mhm.
employee called a grocer. And you
Mhm.
could be a grocer and have a wife, 2 kids, a dog, a house, and a car. Now, if you work at the grocery store and you're not the manager, you are a poor person, right? So
Yeah.
there's fewer jobs like that. Women are actually better at basically white collar work, right? Things that require interacting with others and typing. And men, the jobs men lean towards, like things that make you swing a sledgehammer,
Construction.
Right.
they've
Mhm.
never been like work. They've been bad jobs more than they were in our grandparents' lifetime. Right? A milkman. They used to be you'd be a milkman, then you go home to your stay-at-home wife. A UPS
And
guy
that
is like a
was
milkman.
enough. And
Are you-
that was enough.
Hold on. However,
are not
I
respected
honestly don't
as
think
much.
that those housewives were happy being housewives.
I'm
They
sure
were.
that's
They
true.
just was not saying it out loud, because if
They
they
weren't.
did, just the way society makes you feel guilty today in 2022, imagine the women back then that literally was not able to have their own voice.
Quiet
so
desperation.
even though their milkman was delivering milk and that was enough, I don't think inside they were happy with that enough.
Some
think
of
you're
them
right.
were.
Right, but listen, they didn't figure out how to
Some
do
of
it.
Some of them
were.
were,
They
yes.
are,
Some
but
of them
they-
probably were, because not only was he just a milkman, though, he probably was a healthy person and knew how to conduct a healthy relationship.
He
So
was
there's
walking-
that.
He was walking to them
Dumb, and
houses
they
with
didn't
all
have
them
no
milk.
sense to them.
This dude had
And
I'm
he was
done with
keeping the
you.
milk.
40s.
He was keeping his milk to himself. You know what I
He
mean?
looked
Like,
like
he was a
Charlton
healthy
Heston.
person. So I honestly
I think
don't
you're
think
right.
it has to do with the type of work they're doing. It's them as a person,
Well,
their
let me-
personality,
I'm
them
not-
as
Some
an
men are dusty as
individual.
fuck, bro.
Some
Yeah.
people
I'm saying
are
as a
the-
dude that
you're
loves-
absolutely
I want to
right.
be
There are
clear.
a lot of dusty
I want to
people
be
out
clear.
here.
I'm not wishing for that past. I'm not someone who's saying, and that's when things were better. All I'm saying was this phenomenon, this explains it.
Like, it's not new. I get that. All right. We have to wrap it up. This was great. Thanks for everybody that listens,
I just
everybody that
yawned.
comments. Wherever you are listening to the show, please leave us comments there. I love getting texts. I love the DMs about the shows. I love
But
that you
put
guys are
it
listening.
on the
But
page.
put it wherever you're listening
Put
to
it on the
If you're listening on SoundCloud, if
Yes.
you're listening on YouTube,
Put it there.
if you're listening on Instagram,
IG, put it there.
Facebook, wherever.
If it's
you
live,
can
put
leave
it
a
there.
Comment, leave a comment.
Boom.
Please leave a comment. It sends up your algorithm. It sends up ours. It gets people to watch. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
To
That's
tell a
what we're
friend to
here.
tell a friend.
Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on SoundCloud.
Boom.
Follow us on Instagram.
Boom.
Keep telling your friends. We here with all
Boom.
the shit. Send us topics, because
Boom.
if not, I'm gonna get bored. Like, let's talk. That's what the hashtag
But not
is.
the same
Let's
shit.
Talk. we can't be talking about the same stuff. If
Not
you're
the
about to hit
scripted
40
stuff.
and you haven't figured out your
Like
relationship
the
stuff,
man on Spirit
together.
who swung around and we don't care about that.
Jay-Z said it best. Get it together or forget it forever.
Ooh.
If you about to be 40 and you don't got this figured out, leave it alone and love yourself a little bit more or a lot more. Get better friends. Get a therapist because your friends don't want to hear about your problems every single day. Don't nobody want to hear that. We all got a lot of stuff going on. Trust me. Everybody has something happening in their life. Don't be that friend that always has something going on, because when I feel like I'm that friend that has something going on, guess what I do? I text my therapist. I'm like, hey, girl, what's up?
Everybody ain't lucky enough to have a therapist.
No, they're not, but try to get one.
Do you know how hard it is to get a therapist?
I do know.
A good therapist?
Yep. I've discussed it.
It could take about 6 months to a year to find one.
Have y'all considered couples therapy?
Thank you.
No, because we don't have a problem.
However, to sum it up, seriously though, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We wouldn't have a show without you. Peace, love, and light. Thank you, Greg. Why did I say Greg? Greg, are
Because
you
you
talking about
clearly
us?
want
Jeff.
it to be
Thank you,
Greg.
Jeff. I don't want it to be Greg. Greg is a good person.
We love Jeff.
But Jeff, we do love you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for everyone
That
that
was
watched.
perspective.
Good night.
Woo, you survived.
You did.
You made it.
Did you?
And you didn't
orgasm?
fall.